It's now time for Party Chat Sports.
The only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys?
There was an idea. A couple of guys got together, been in multiple group chats, just sharing information, a bunch of mostly football related tweets, posts, whatever it be. And they decided, you know what? Let's make a podcast. And after months of saying, let's make a podcast, or hey, that subject would be good for a podcast, save it. Let's save it. We finally came up with a name. Dylan put a logo together. We found somewhere to record, share it, and now here we are, 100 podcast episodes later. Huge for us. We've been doing this for about a year and a half now, and we made it to 100 episodes when we barely, at the start, it was like, all right, are we actually going to be able to get to 5, 10? With, us struggling to find the time to record. So thank you, everybody that's been watching, listening, however you've been consuming our content. And I'm looking forward to putting out a lot more. That's it on that end. Let's talk about what we're going to be discussing here this evening. It's going to be toxic. Like, an ex-girlfriend type toxic here this evening. We've got Jets Vikings and Steelers Cowboys. Those are the only two games that we're covering this evening. It was the longest day at the NFL ever, because you had the Jets Vikings starting at 9:30 in the morning on Sunday, and then the Steelers Cowboys ending at 12:30 or
1
so.
o'clock. 1 o'clock.
Crazy. Those are the two games we're covering. We want that toxicity here tonight because that's who we really are. We're just a bunch of guys that, this started because we were arguing some legendary arguments in the Twitter chat, in the Snap, group chat. So let's bring that out this evening. I told Cam, no, let him be him, because with the game that we're starting here with, they deserve it. But before we get into that, how's everybody feeling about the fact that we made it to 100?
I wish I would have won. That
would make things a lot better.
Yeah, it would. But we'll get
You're muted.
We'll get into that.
It's not me. But Victory 100 came.
First episode ever, huh?
No, it's actually the 100th. I don't know if you were paying attention before.
But for those listening, be sure to stick around for Gill's fastest 3 minutes at the end. You may or may not know what that's all about.
Yep, and if there's one thing I specialize in, it's quick and fast.
Okay.
Cam, let's get to that early morning game. 9:30.
Listen.
I came over, we had breakfast, and, we were civil. I'd say we were pretty civil throughout that game. I sat there, took it all in.
Yeah, and I'm not going to be civil right now. You better just shut your mouth, because I had to go into the other room to celebrate, because I did not want to be toxic towards my friend that came over. Shout out to the missus. She made a great breakfast. Made sure everything was on the table. We had waffles, egg, sausage. It felt really good to get another win. It seems like the only person or only team that the Vikings cannot beat is a certain team in Dallas. But to get a win in London in rainy conditions with one of my best friends sitting there on the couch watching his team kind of crumble before his own eyes, that leads to a head coach's firing, and Sam Darnold gets to bury his former team after I'm not gonna lie, I thought Sam Darnold was seeing a couple ghosts this game after he took a big hit in the first half. But good job, Vikings. Van Ginkel is the most slept on defensive player of the year candidate right now. If he can keep
Good
up these
God.
numbers even remotely, he is the clear favorite for defensive player of the year. I mean, 2 touchdowns. I mean, obviously, we don't care about defensive touchdowns, aka Bland last year. But yeah, Vikings looked really, really good for the first quarter and the last quarter.
Buddy is averaging less than 4 tackles a game, big dog.
He has 2 interceptions and 2
Okay.
defensive touchdowns.
That's all you need. Defensive player of the year, baby. 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
Wrap it up.
Good kid.
Yeah, I'm really happy with this Vikings team.
You shouldn't be.
We went 1-0 this week. 0-0 back to the drawing board next week.
No
Just
undefeated.
kidding, we're on a bye week, but we're gonna come out of that bye week against a Lions team that is gonna be hungry and probably ready for us. So
It's gonna be,
yeah, go Vikings. Jets, you
That's gonna be a good
freaking
game.
stink.
They do.
I sure that's not.
Yeah, and then yeah. So go Vikings. Very proud of you guys.
I will say, the Vikings in London are one of those things that are like, you don't want to play the Vikings in London. They're like 5-0 in London or something, 4-0
That's
in London.
crazy.
But yeah, that was, I'm happy there was a game on, at 9:30 to get my day started. It was just this game that was nasty to watch, honestly.
6:30 a.m.
Wasn't all that nasty.
It really
6:30,
was.
I pretty much saw the second half, and that was it.
Rodgers looked like a ghost of himself. The Vikings were actively trying to lose the game, it felt like, and Rodgers just didn't want to win. And then that's how it ended.
I mean, Aaron Jones gets hurt. That's kind of.
Yeah,
I think you just figured out the Vikings' kryptonite with that. To be honest,
I think that's true. I think that's true. But every team has injuries, so at the end of the day, you can't blame that. But I think it's important to talk about.
Tyson Chandler's not.
But I did
back.
send out a TikTok. You probably did not watch it or read it, Cam, because that's not your thing. But it was a stat of all the undefeated teams since like 2010, or the last undefeated team of the season and how they finished, and not a single one of them has won a Super Bowl. So
Yeah, well, the Vikings
you to know
have
that.
also started off 5-0 3 times now, and they're 2 of 6 teams to not make the playoffs after starting off 5-0.
I did see
Actually,
that.
a
That's
fun
because
fact
you
here.
lost Sam Bradford, but
A fun fact here. Last time the Vikings went 5-0, Gill and I decided to get into a little Twitter beef, which now our head coach had to message us both and tell us to quit acting like children. So shout out John Phillips. You created two guys that are now in each other's weddings when Gill decides to have his own wedding. But yeah, thank you, Coach Phillips. Love you, Coach Phillips.
That felt forced.
It could have came out a lot better than I thought it was going to, but then I started kind of blabbering. So, Gill, talk about your despair of the Jets.
Further despair.
The following content may or may
Eternal
not be
despair.
for mature audiences, so viewer discretion might be advised.
Down the hatch. There it is.
There it is.
Glasses off.
Where do we start?
With
Here's
the
how we're gonna
20-minute
start this.
video you put out yesterday.
That's exactly
where
where
we'll
we're going to start because we're going to go promo style here because these New York Jets are a bunch of sorry ass bitches. All right, let's start. Let's start.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. New York Jets. You're supposed to be number 1. You're supposed to be the best in the world. It was Super Bowl or bust. You're much closer to busting like a virgin at the Peppermint Hippo than you are to even scratching the surface of the playoffs, let
Over
alone
years.
making a Super Bowl. This is disgusting. This is terrifying to watch. All right? And you know what? Bobby Saleh's out of there, and that is fine. That is A-okay, because I know Mama Salah cries herself to sleep because she raised herself a little crybaby bitch. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know what to say. My team just goes out there, and we just commit penalties. I didn't have a quarterback. Shut your mouth. It doesn't matter what you think.
Oh my.
God, the excuses on this team. The no discipline. It is gross. It is disgusting. It is negligence from this sorry-ass franchise. You got guys like Alan Lazard out there dropping passes, making millions of dollars. freaking Lizard King wannabe, you should actually invest in Geico because his hands only work 15% of the time. And you want to go out there and go trade for Devontae Adams. Like, that is Devontae Adams. Like, that's going to fix all your issues. Yeah, he probably does catch some of those passes that Alan Lazard drops, but it's like putting lipstick on a pig, or what we like to call Mr. Skullchance ex-girlfriend around here. It ain't going to fix jack squat, all right? Yeah, it's going to look a little pretty on the surface. It's going to make it look a little good at the beginning. And yeah, it does help, the actual roster. Was that going to help you win games? No, because they're a bunch of little bitches, all right?
Yeah.
This team is sorry. They come out undisciplined.
Jabronis.
They are a bunch of jabronis, all right? If Gill 16 or 316, Gill 316 says one thing. The New York Jets are a bunch of sorry-ass bitches. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers.
Thanks, man, what you're cooking.
Aaron Rodgers. You ayahuasca-loving hippie. 3 interceptions. 2 in the first half. You brought this team together. You put this team together.
And the game loser.
Especially that game loser. You had Garrett Wilson open on a surefire touchdown, and you missed. 40-year-old fragile quarterback, and you're going to come in here and be like, oh, we're good. No, you're not. You are far from it. God. The defense did everything they could. They had freaking Lego policeman Sam Darnold looking mono getting quarterback.
Hello?
You should look at what the Lego policeman looks like. It's an exact replica of Sam Darnold. All right. His worst game of the season. And yet you still couldn't win.
Can't
Why?
beat Sammy.
Because you come to London unprepared. You are outcoached for the second straight week. You got outcoached in Denver. You lost to a quarterback, a rookie quarterback. Exactly. You lost to a quarterback who threw 60 passing yards. And it came down to a last-second field goal. A 50-yard field goal in the rain. And you still lost because you're a bunch of sorry-ass bitches.
Hey.
I'm sick and tired of the excuses from this team. And I touched on a lot of my feelings for Robert Saleh last night.
Is he about to pull a Drew?
But this...
No.
You can go back and watch that video at Party Chat Sports. But Robert Saleh, I told you last year you should have been gone. I also said that the New York Jets will do New York Jets things and wait and do the wrong thing. This firing was 6 months too late, and now we're paying the price.
You high-key nailed that.
2-3. This team is. If you would have told anyone that the Jets were going to be 2-3 after coming back from London, it would be a failure. That's exactly what it is. I'm glad that Woody Johnson, back where he was the ambassador last year, he had his buddies with him. He was embarrassed. And why wouldn't he be embarrassed? He's the owner of the New York Jets, who are 2-3. Diddy is no longer buying his baby oil. Like, there's a lot to be sorry about for Woody Johnson right now.
Rated R.
That's
Rated
a family
R.
company. That's a
Rated
family
R.
company, dog.
Johnson & Johnson.
This need to be
God.
rated R.
I told you this was for mature audiences. I warned viewer discretion should be advised. I mean, quite frankly, he did the right thing. He did the right thing there. But
Yeah.
You like the transition?
I loved it.
Very good.
I loved it.
You love segues.
Transition, great. Firing, 6 months too late. Already touched on a lot of that last night. Jeff Ulbrich, he should help provide that spark that's needed. Probably only for about a game or two. But this game in particular, it sucks because Garrett Wilson is being fed the ball 20 times, and yet he only had 101 yards. Like, that is the lowest amount of yards for that many targets, I believe. And the only other one that's next to him is Devontae Adams when Aaron Rodgers was his quarterback. The offensive line's been struggling, and it doesn't look like they're playing poorly. It just seems like the communication up front's bad, which is terrifying. Which also leads me to believe, offensive line coach and just coaching in general, which has been my fear all offseason with this team. And then Aaron Rodgers throws 3 interceptions. And I have to give credit Brian Flores. He knew that Van Ginkel touchdown. Watching that back, they showed this. They knew that's Rodgers
We knew.
that Rodgers likes to get the ball out quick. That's going to be a quick slant. So what did he do? He showed blitz, and then he sent Van Ginkel back. It was a perfect. He knew exactly what Rodgers was going to do. You have to tip your cap off to the Vikings, 5-0. Yeah, it sucks because I'm the biggest Vikings / Cam hater here.
Wait,
But
can I pause you for like 2 seconds? I need to do one shout out for Harrison Smith being obviously better than Palamalu, 30 sack club, something with interceptions too. Congratulations, Harrison Smith. You're a Hall of Famer.
That's free real estate, man. That was
Yeah,
living rent free in his head.
I'm just letting it be known.
But Rodgers, you can't have Aaron Rodgers, but you also can't have any quarterback throwing for 100 times across 2 games. Like, that is not a winning formula. So from here, the running game needs to. You're not going to win games if your running game isn't. I have no issues with the defense. You gave up 23 points. That's average. And the Jets under Saleh had this mentality of a race to 20, where it was as long as we scored, whoever scores 20 first, they're going to win. And that was just the mentality. He said that before the Raiders game last year, and it was a 23-17 score. So that race to 20 was legit. You have to establish a ground game. I'm interested to see what happens offensive play calling wise from here, but I think what the Jeff Albrecht promotion does, it gives them a boost for one game. We'll see how they are against the Steelers. But the statistics for interim head coaches making the playoffs is not good. Granted, this might be a slightly different circumstance.
Never
maybe.
happened.
But the only interim head coach to make the playoffs was Rich Bisaccia, and that's because Jake Gruden was he stepped down instead of being fired. So, yeah, I mean, that's really all I got. I got the promo stuff out of the way. They are a bunch of little crybaby bitches, and we'll see if that changes with Jeff Albrecht. But good game. I mean, I can't really say good game because it felt
It's
sloppy.
awful.
It was not fun to watch. I think you can contest to that, Cam. Like, it was
we
many
both agreed.
Too many penalties. Too many penalties, which was another theme under Saleh. Too many penalties. And it was just sloppy. And even the rain, like, it was sprinkling. It wasn't even that bad. I didn't think it was that bad. But that's all I've got on Jets Vikings. Congrats to the Vikings for being 5-0.
You can't be anti-dome and then complain about weather conditions. That's not how it works.
I didn't complain about weather conditions. I just
You did,
said they weren't that great.
You did actually. In the Snapchat chain, you said a win in something jet lag.
I said a win.
Bad weather conditions.
I said a win without Aaron Jones, T.J. Hawkinson, and in bad weather conditions. I will take it.
I just didn't think it was that bad. Like, I've seen a lot worse at MetLife. But
can I say one thing? The reason I'm okay with no domes is strictly, and Drew, you know this to our soul. The most fun game that I have ever been a part of was the most rainy game that you've ever seen in your life, and sliding in the mud at the end of the game. Oh wait, no, Gill, you were on that team too. Sorry.
Yeah, that was your senior year.
Yes. That was the most fun game I've ever been a part of.
I just don't think
that is why I don't like domes.
I just don't think everything needs to be a dome, and even the retractable roof.
I don't think high school rainy football is the same as professionals NFL on a Sunday.
That's what I was going to say. I'm not going to let one high school rainy game against Monroe impact my opinion on what NFL teams should do. Their stadium.
The argument that always
guess how many points were scored in the second half of that game, anyways.
I'm pretty sure. It was
and you go
7.
ahead and if you go ahead and remember that, you'll know why the NFL needs domes, because no one wants to sit around and watch nothing happen.
You don't like defense?
You know what else the NFL and the fans shouldn't have to do? Watch a football game at 1:00 in the morning, okay? And that wouldn't have happened in a dome. So, just saying.
I think that's a good segue. Great segue.
Yeah.
It is a good segue to the other game on the opposite end of the spectrum of the day, literally the next day. Steelers, Cowboys, the two most legendary franchises on the planet. Introduced by Celine Dion in probably no better introduction that I've seen in a long time.
She's going to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in about a week.
Yeah, went head to head, and I'll pass it off to Drew in a second to talk about a lot of stuff, and then I'll come back in. But obviously, the Cowboys win on a last second play.
Sorry,
you could have muted yourself for that.
I tried.
On a last second play, 4th down, 20 seconds left. Shades of 8 years ago. Steelers couldn't get the job done. Drew, go ahead, talk about your Cowboys win.
Yeah, well, first I'm going to talk about the Steelers and how they just couldn't do anything. I mean, like, this game was so, like, terrible.
It was terrible. It was bad.
It was terrible.
Bad.
And
I blame the rain.
Tons of injuries going into the game. Tons of injuries during the game.
Did we ever end with like terrible. More than one outside linebacker? I think for either team.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So we were on what edge 5 and 6. We had corner number 5 out there on the outside. Wide receiver 3 was wide receiver 2. I'm sure handful of similar scenarios with the Steelers. The Cowboys went their first 4 red zone drives, scored 3 points.
Yeah.
So like, just not a good game. There's so many things where like you would see something good, like, oh, this part of the team is doing good, and then they'd immediately do something terrible, and it's like, I don't know what to think about any of this. But the good part is we managed to hold on. We drive down the field to win the game after Dak was being a bonehead all day for some reason, just throwing the ball up for who knows why.
You let Stone Hands Joey Porter get one, man.
Drive down the field and get freaking Tolbert to score the game winner after getting hit in the nuts the play before.
Yeah, he did.
He came back out. Thanks for calling that timeout. Otherwise, he would have been off the field. Thanks for the timeout.
Mike T, back. Genius Mike T.
So I wish I could rub it in Dylan's face more, but it was just such a terrible game that we didn't do anything extraordinary to win the game. There was a great drive to win the game, actually. 4th down,
and it was almost over because of a heat-seeking missile.
Yeah, dude, that was one of the most insane plays I've ever seen.
Gill said something before the game that I think low-key resonated and ended up happening. He said, I hope there's a way that you both find a way to lose. And I think it happened. The Steelers actually lost, and the Cowboys played bad enough to where it doesn't even feel like a win.
I'll take it.
But I guess
shout out Dak.
I'll transition to my side of the story. And I guess that's just a product of being a fan of a great organization, because unlike a team like the Jets or the Vikings, we actually care about success in the postseason. And when it doesn't happen, it's a huge disappointment and it is a failure.
I've been disappointed for a lot of years, man.
Yeah, I have, but not forever like you. And so, a team sitting at 3-2, tied for first place in the division, you'd think I'd be a lot happier, but I'm not, because after being dominant defense, like historically in the first 3 weeks of the season, being 3-0, to then utterly collapse against 90-year-old Joe Flacco, and then a Cowboys team who, like Drew said, played like garbage all the way up until the last drive of the game. To be at 3-2, it's just unbelievable, because 5-0 is so close, and you're 3-2 instead. Going into a week against the Raiders where you should go back to 4-2, but I'm done using the word should and the Steelers, because it never works out. But yeah, the game itself, where do I even begin? Like Drew said, there was a litany of issues with depth. We were on outside linebacker 5, and then D lineman 5 had to play outside linebacker as well because we actually ran out of linebackers. So that was an interesting tidbit. We came into the season with no nickel corner, and we just thought that'll be fine. We have this undrafted guy named Bean, and that'll be great. And he got cooked and torched like all night. That was terrible to see. And then just like the worst third down defense the past 2 weeks in the entire league and maybe ever, because anytime it was third and like 12 plus, you just knew the Cowboys were going to throw it to somebody wide open and convert. It happened all night, and it was insane to watch. I think they got better the farther away from the first down marker that they were. And then at the end of the game, you have a chance to you knock the ball out, it bounces 1 foot towards Dak instead of 1 foot towards the safety, and that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. It comes down to that close of a bounce. But it shouldn't have gotten to that point. We were down to like wide receiver 4 and 5, but that's just because wide receiver 1 wasn't playing. That's something I don't even want to get into. I don't even know what to get into it. You know what it is. And
Prima Donna?
Yeah. There's some issues there, and I don't know what the answer is. Mike Tomlin's dealt with these types before to
Don't
great
go to the
success.
Steelers if you're a wide
It's my
receiver.
turn. It's my turn.
I mean, you're like 3 for 3 on receivers, being prima donnas.
Hello, buddy. We're like 15 for 15, big
Say, I
dog.
think-
You don't know nothing,
I think that
You don't know
number's higher than
anything.
that.
and yet somehow they always turn
Bring
out to
back
be
Hines
great.
Ward.
They always turn out to be great. So I don't know. And like he literally had like 8 catches, 100 yards last week, and then had a dud. So he'll probably go crazy against the Raiders. But like this week to week stuff's got to stop, man. This shouldn't even have to be talked about, but it is. He only played like 55% of the snaps, and he was jogging on half of those. I just don't know. We're throwing deep shots to Van Jefferson, who literally is the worst separator in the league in man and zone coverage. Like he's in the tight end with categories, or he's in the category with tight ends because he's so bad at getting open. And George Pickens is in the other side of the graph, and he ain't playing. Why we don't have a wide receiver 2, I have no idea. We tried. I'll give it to him. At least we tried with that with Ayuk. We're currently trying with Devontae, but they're not trading him to the Steelers the week they play him, so that's not happening for at least another week. Yeah. The good news is, out of all of this, is that Justin Fields is not the problem. So that's fantastic news just in the long run, I think in general, because regardless of how this thing plays out the next couple of weeks, what quarterback finishes the season, I think Justin Fields is coming back to the team for a handful of years. So I think that's good news in the long run because I love the guy and I love the talent. And it sounds like he's going to play again against the Raiders. Russell Wilson is now a full participant, no longer injured, but they're doing a ramp up period again. So it does sound like Fields is going to start one more game. But I just hope it's a win and that we get to use the hot hand now and say we're just going to keep sticking with Fields. That's the ultimate worst case scenario if you have to put Russ in because you lose and go to 3-3. That sucks, man. That sucks, and that stunts the growth of the team moving forward. Najee Harris might be the worst running back in the league. The D lineman for the Saints ran faster than him. There's no way he didn't. I'd like to get the top speed on that and then compare it to any of that.
He hit 15.
I'd like
15 miles an hour.
I'd like
Dylan?
to see Najee's runs because
Dylan,
I don't
I
think
have a
that man's
question
going faster
about
than
Najee.
10. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you think he is so like you watch him at Alabama, you see the best running back that's ever been made. I said that. I was going to stand by that.
The best who?
Probably shouldn't have said that.
Running back ever made. Like he was a
No.
beast in college.
This dude was so high on
but
Najee.
do you think Jerome Bettis had a talk with him and said you need to put on some weight and then need
No, I
you to
don't.
get slower?
No, I
and
don't
I need
think
you
that.
to just start trying to run dudes over and not pick the right
He
holes.
doesn't even do that, though. He doesn't run dudes over. He jumps over them, which is an entirely different conversation. But
Looks cool.
it does look cool, and then you just get no yards. Najee is a good running back. He is not great. He is good at everything except for running fast enough to run away from defenders. And when the line struggles to create holes for him, he's not going to do much to get further yards. He can break tackles, he can stiff arm, he can, juke, he can occasionally catch out of the backfield, but there's just no juice. And there's an Adobe popping up on my screen. There's just no juice. And you saw it last week. Every time Cordero Patterson touched the ball, he was rumbling for like 20, and it literally looked like the game was in fast forward because of how much faster he looked. Jaylen Warren obviously has a ton more pop. But you need a guy like Najee. Just go back and look at Tony Pollard, Zeke, because Najee's going to take those hits. He's going to grind out 3 to 4 yards, a whole bunch, and then you throw Jaylen Warren in there, and he's going to pop off 45. So I get the whole strategy behind it, and I'm not saying get rid of Najee. You need the other guys back, because right now without the other guys, there's no change of pace, and you're just doing nothing. Like rookie Najee Harris was really good and had 100-yard games all the time. I think he got slower from rookie year to onward. He got a little bit bigger, but it hasn't like translated into success. Like he's always been a sub 4 yard per carry guy. And even if you go back into college and look at explosive carries in college, he didn't have a lot of them actually, like in relation to other running backs that have come recently. And you can look at the Nick Chubbs and the Jonathan Taylors of the world, but guys that were taken in the second and the third round that are way more explosive and have had more successful NFL careers versus a first round guy in Najee. So 1, running backs are fungible unless you're Ashton Jinty. And 2, you need some sort of burst to be successful. Mine. He's not a Viking in any scenario ever. You just talked about Aaron Jones. It's never happening. And
he's old. What?
Okay. You're not drafting a first-round running back. You're not doing it. And you're definitely not trading up to the top 5 to do it.
Who said that?
You're currently 5-0. You're not going to be nearly high enough to have him.
You could lose out and you still wouldn't have a high enough draft pick.
He's going to lose stock in the combine and go in the 20s.
Says who?
Everybody. That's what happens.
Going at whatever pick the Cowboys have.
I promise you,
and Jahmyr Gibbs both went top 10.
No, let's talk about it.
When Ashton Jinty runs a 4.4 and cements his top 10 status, you're going to forget. You're not going to remember this conversation.
But again, he's a running back. We didn't think Bijan was going to the 20s. We didn't think Jahmyr was going to go that high. And before this year, they're like, yes, Gentry is having
7.
His name's Gentry. His name's Gentry. There's no
is
R
having a phenomenal season.
8.
But again, he is doing it against lesser competitions. Scouts are going to find a way to put him down. And I would not be surprised if he goes in the second round. Book it right now.
Yeah, that's.
Dude, I will pay you money if he goes in the
second round. That is a $25 freezing cold take. That is.
I will give you $25
right now.
So
if he goes in the second round.
So Cam, just to jog your memory.
Are you locking this in, Drew? 25?
Just to jog your memory.
Barring injury.
God, shut up.
Oh,
Cam, just to jog your memory. Bijan did not go in the 20s. He went number 8. If you remember that.
Did I say Bijan went in the 20s, or did I say the year before a good running back did not go into the 20s?
You said Bijan
went in the 20s. That's tough. That's really tough.
That's no. And then Gibbs went at like number 10. So
Gibbs went at 12.
Okay,
I know that for a fact.
So there's no way the best running back that's better than both of those dudes is going outside of the top 10.
But the year before was Najee, correct?
No.
2 years?
Like 2 years before was Najee.
Okay.
Maybe
and
3.
He went 19 or 20?
He went 20. ETN went 21.
What did I send about him? Oh, here's what I
sent.
What
I meant to say. Sorry, go ahead, Gill.
So,
I'm done.
I sent this in the Twitter chat. According to some analyst data, Genty has had 30 carries versus an 8-man plus defensive box.
This is insane.
The defenses are crowding the line to stop him. You know what he's averaging on those carries? 8.9 yards.
8.9.
You can't do anything to stop this man. He's insane.
He's the best running back prospect we've seen in a very long time.
Yeah. Easily.
That's why he's going in the second to the Vikings.
Okay.
Or 25.
All right. Enough of that.
Is there anything else that we need to say on Cowboys, Vikings, Jets, Steelers?
You said it wrong again, but rather than no.
I'll take the win over the Cowboys.
I just want to say that I'm rocking my Eastern Michigan baseball shirt because it's almost baseball season. Because that's how I feel about the football season right now. I'm watching the Arizona Fall League instead of the NFL Sunday this weekend.
That's crazy.
It's currently baseball season. It's not almost baseball season.
Not for the Reds, it's not.
True.
Season's been over for 3 months, man. Season's been over for 3 months.
Hey, I'm with you, buddy. I'm with you.
Spring training is around the corner.
That's crazy.
No, it just makes me sad.
Yeah, I feel
Because
that.
if you would have told me at the start of the year that Steelers were 3-2 and tied for first in the division, I think I would have been happy. If you told me that after we were sitting 3-0 with the number 1 defense, I would have been really upset. And here I am. Like my Sunday, or actually my Monday, after that game was probably one of the worst Mondays I've had in a very long time. Just from an emotional.
Let me tell you something. Rico
Do not care.
Dowdle had broken 6 tackles in that game. He broke 5 all season combined up until that point.
Well, we weren't tackling, if you recall. We were throwing right hooks. That's it. Right hooks only.
He just strip attempt every single time.
Listen, that was the hardest that man's ran all year, I'll be honest.
It was.
He was running hard.
And then he tried to give the game away.
It's like the Cowboys, like you say all the time. The Steelers are their Super Bowl, and this was the Cowboys.
The Steelers are the Cowboys Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I don't know about all that, Chief.
Celine Dion, bro. They had Celine Dion playing in the locker room pregame. That's all that was needed.
Yeah.
But if the Steelers, beat the Raiders and go to 4-2 and first in the division again, I'll be like, okay. But I think there are serious flaws in this team that are going to prohibit them from doing anything. So,
I mean, if you can't handle Aiden O'Connell, that is a
yeah. No, if we can't,
That's crazy.
And we go to 3-3, you won't see me for a while.
I think. I mean, the Raiders. It's like
All
the
up
Jets
Kate.
and
Get
Steelers.
Kate on the pod instead, bro. I'm done.
It's like Jets. It's like Jets for the Steelers. Raiders for the Steelers always seem to prove to be a
the
difficult
Raiders
team
owned the
for no
Steelers for
reason.
some reason. Yeah, except for the past 2 years that we beat them with Kenny Pickett, which whatever. But before that, the Raiders owned the Steelers. We couldn't beat them. But whatever.
Anyways,
I don't use the word shit anymore.
How can you not beat the Raiders?
Are you done?
Actually, we can't either.
You guys grieving
Take that
still?
back.
I'm done. Move on.
Okay.
I'm not grieving. I won a game.
Before we go to the 3 minutes, Gill, I want to shout out to our JB Mules for the 66-8 win. And
Who'd you play?
sorry you guys could not beat the record tonight. It's real tough. I don't know why it didn't happen. Sorry about it. But
Yeah, because you're a
lip
fraud.
service.
You called
lip
that
service
last.
to the JV team. This is crazy.
Yeah. All right. Who's going to
hey,
time
we love
me
our
on
boys.
this?
Who was the
Great
opponent?
guys.
Ann Arbor.
Ann Arbor Huron.
Oh, okay.
Put-
All right.
To put
Yeah,
this into perspective
move on.
for people that don't
Move
know who
on,
Ann Arbor
bro.
Huron is, Ann Arbor Huron was one of the schools that Gill used to play. All right. I used to get in those games. All right.
Dude, I
This-
almost played quarterback in that game. All right. That's how much we were winning back then.
They put me at running back.
I was not a quarterback, just for the record. Should have been.
So
Would have been a backup.
Whoa. Okay.
this 3 minutes thing, I'm
We'll
pretty
talk
much just
about
going to
that
go
in the group
through.
chat.
I'm just
No,
going
I
to go
definitely would have
through.
been a backup.
I'm just going to go through week 5 real quick.
Just gonna
In 3
go through
minutes.
you.
I'm going to exclude the Jets, Vikings, and the Cowboys, Steelers. I'm going to exclude those 2 games.
Might
Do
as
you
well
want me to
throw 'em
start
back
the
in.
timer?
I was going to ask
Just throw
somebody
this-
to start a timer.
Throw the scores in at the start.
Yeah.
Well, you're
Do
going to
that.
do it when you go through the game, and that's going to be part of the 3 minutes. All
Yeah.
right. When
Ready?
you're ready, on your
All right.
go.
3, 2. Falcons, Buccaneers, Thursday Night Football. Kirk Coach Shanes comes back, gets the overtime victory, 36-30 over Baker Mayfield. Jets, Vikings, already talked about it, 23-17 in London.
Hell yeah.
5-0 Vikings over the sorry-ass Jets. Bears, 36-10 over the Panthers. Huge win for Caleb Williams. Panthers got a lot of issues. Speaking
proud
of
of you, Tom.
issues, Deshaun Watson led Cleveland Browns fall 34-13. More question marks and answers coming out of this game for the Browns. And Jaden Daniels, Offensive Rookie of the Year candidate. We shall see moving forward. Dolphins, Patriots, both poverty franchises this year. Dolphins get the win behind Pro Bowl quarterback Tyler Huntley, 15-10 over the Patriots. Patriots moving on to Drake May. Sorry, you are
R.I.P.
die next week against the Texans, who also got a victory against an AFC East opponent, 23-20 against the Bills. Bills what are you doing at the end there? You handed the Texans a victory after coming back in that one. 23-20, Texans over Bills. Jaguars' first win of the year, 37-34. Joe Flacco still slinging it, though, as he nearly attempted the comeback. Not enough, though, for Trevor Lawrence. Doug Peterson saves his job for another week. AFC South, Ravens, Bengals, 41-38. Another overtime
That's
game.
the North.
Damn it. Ravens, Bengals, AFC North, 41-38. Joe Burrow looks good. Lamar Jackson played better, 41-38.
No defense.
Thank you.
No defense at all. Broncos, 34-18, sending.
Lamar did not play better.
He had 36
That's
points.
correct.
Fantasy led me to a win.
34-18 Broncos over the Raiders, sending Gardner Minshew after 2 interceptions to the bench for Aiden O'Connell. Cardinals 49ers. Cardinals come back and get the interception as Brock Purdy is hit at the end of the game, 24-23.
Morgan almost killed herself.
49ers.
Purdy, you're so good.
49ers drop to 2-3 after Purdy throws the interception as he has hit.
Freaking
Not
bums.
Purdy's fault. Giants, Seahawks, 29-20. For the Giants, Seahawks attempt the field goal at the end to tie it. Instead, it is returned for 6. Giants win 29-20. Packers, Rams, 24-19. Love is back. Rams don't have anybody back because, well, they're all hurt.
Love's been back since last week.
Cowboys, Steelers, 2017. Already talked about it. Chiefs, Saints. Derek Carr gets hurt, but the car was already stalled before he got hurt. 26-13. We are about to see Spencer Rattler this week for the Saints as the Chiefs get another win. Them and the Vikings still remain undefeated. And that is in how much time?
Wah, wah, wah. Oh,
Under, baby, let's go!
How?
Good job. And we even interrupted you a whole bunch.
That's crazy. All right. See, I told you guys, fast and quick is my specialty. Just go look at all my track
Unless
lines
you're
from
talking
high
about the
school.
Jets.
Well, no,
This is
hold
true.
on. We got like a couple minutes left. Why is it not
Why?
Purdy's fault?
Why is that interception not Purdy's fault? Because he was hit. The guy
Probably
was
shouldn't
open.
have got hit, bro. Probably shouldn't have got hit.
That's the offensive line's fault, brother.
Nah, pocket
It was
movement.
Jordan Mason's fault. He sold on
Zero pocket
Pass Pro.
awareness. Purdy sucks.
Is
Purdy
what it
can't
is.
beat. Purdy can't beat the Cardinals. It's crazy.
Hey, everybody's got their kryptonite, right? Like
Yeah,
Joe
this is
Burrow
true.
can't beat the Browns.
Or the
Cardinals
Ravens.
is not the Niners' kryptonite. I
Joe
promise.
Burrow can't beat the
Cardinals
Browns, the
suck.
Ravens, or the Steelers, actually. Or the Chiefs.
All right. So, is there
Or
anything
anybody
else that we
else.
got to touch on for week 5?
Sadness. Eternal.
Lots of eternal
Stress.
sadness.
Hello,
Free.
darkness, my old friend.
Stress free for the first week. Feel good.
I better
Ready
be
for it.
4-2 this time next week, or else.
Go
they're
Ohio
gonna-
State. Also, Michigan sucks.
Yeah, we know.
Cowboys Lions this week.
Yeah, Drew.
That's
Wow.
Hope
what
you
you
enjoy your decision.
I do.
He literally made the decision hoping that this would be the case.
he did.
I know.
It's true.
But I'm not letting him get rid of the fact that he joined as national champion.
But he doesn't claim it.
National champion with none of the players or the coaching staff.
No, you got your crying head coach. It's all right.
He just got left behind in the wreckage, man.
Didn't Ryan Day cry a couple times?
No, Ryan doesn't cry.
No.
He does it behind
he doesn't
cameras.
win either, I guess.
What are you talking about?
So literally
All
any
right.
game
He
against
wins.
Michigan
It's
ever.
just we need to win in the postseason.
Yeah, he doesn't.
That's kind of important. But
He's the Mike Tomlin
I-
of college football.
I'm really thinking he worries more about his players' lives and will forfeit wins over
That's-
convicts.
it's actually crazy.
He's the Mike Tomlin of college football.
That's a crazy comparison, but it kind of makes sense. All right.
On that
So-
bombshell,
Number 100.
This was number
We did it.
100. At the end of this episode, once this is all over, once we sign off, there will be one thing still attached to this, and that is some of our best clips over the last 100 episodes. So I do hope you enjoyed those. I do hope you have enjoyed these 100 episodes, and let's see how many more of these we can continue to make together. Thank
They
you
held up a
to...
sign like the Wilt sign, the 100 sign. He's got a
Hold on.
whiteboard.
I do, but I'm afraid it's
100.
going to be backwards. So if I do it like
Oh.
this...
yeah, you do gotta hold it up backwards. Yeah,
There you go.
Let's go.
But you gotta.
No,
Will.
other way.
There you
no,
go.
That's 001 for me.
For you,
Yeah, actually, Gill.
yeah, you
you're.
flip it around.
Yeah,
Gil.
There you go.
There we go.
There you go. We can
Yeah.
cut that out.
Yeah,
All right, we start.
Well, see, it went
Yeah,
from
that's
0-1
really
to
cool.
1-0. You know.
Oh yeah, it's a
So,
transition.
yeah.
Yes,
Wow.
sir.
Perfect.
Oh, wow.
Mind blown.
Good
did
job, Drew.
We did it. All right. But again, thank you to the three of you guys as well. Couldn't have happened. We couldn't have made it this far without everybody.
It's been fun.
So
Keep
it's
it
been
rolling.
fun. We're going to absolutely keep this rolling.
Hopefully, we
Next
get more
week-
subscribers.
Next week, we'll see
Follow us. Subscribe to us, please.
all at Party Chat
like
Sports
us.
on our Twitter. That's where you can keep up to date with
Honestly,
everything going
how
on.
the entire JV team isn't subscribed. That's an.
Oh, they watch.
Question.
I know they watch.
Come on,
They
now.
don't
For a
subscribe, though.
fact.
All right.
Yeah.
come
Yeah,
on.
I know. Hey, start subscribing, guys. Varsity, if you guys want to subscribe, still subscribe. It's
Everybody
not
should
nothing.
subscribe.
Everybody, man.
If you're not subscribing, you're doing 10 gassers. That's what I'm saying.
That's crazy. All right.
You got until next.
All right,
next
coach.
Sunday.
Wrap it up. Intern.
Intern assistant coach for the JV. Get it right.
Yeah.
So make sure you follow us at Party Chat
Road to
Sports
the
on
NFL.
Twitter, on TikTok, because I'm also going to be sharing the 100 episode clips to TikTok as well. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that exactly.
And YouTube Shorts.
YouTube Shorts on you, but also make sure you follow us on YouTube at Party Chat Sports and wherever you get your podcast. Thank you again for being with us for the 100. I'm looking forward to continue moving forward. Hope everybody has a great week 6 as that starts tonight. It doesn't matter. Jets still suck, but it's okay. Hope everybody else has a great week 6. We'll be back next week. Until then, peace.
Go Vikings, go Mules.
Enjoy
Cowboys.
this next video.
Eternal darkness.
But it's plan A or plan B. They are not going to fork up the $50 for plan B. They're just going to say, you know what, screw this. We're just going to let it roll. We're fine. They don't have that.
In Art Smith, we trust. Yo, I might be Hitler, but I might be Artie Smith.
If you build a dome, you probably shouldn't do fireworks inside.
Better ventilation.
Yeah, I wouldn't set off a firework in my house, for a lot of similar reasons. There's just a lot of places that fireworks aren't meant to be. Inside is probably number one.
Kirk, on behalf of all Vikings fans, from the bottom of my heart, we did not realize who you were, and we were not familiar with your game for a long time. You have grown with us, and you have proved to be one of Minnesota's cherished children, if you will. You have created Kirko chains.
Hate to say this. Drew, who do you got?
You know who I want to say so bad.
You can't say it. You're not allowed.
Let me say this. Let me say this.
It's your year. Is it your year?
Let me say this. If there ever was a year, this would be it. If
That's
there ever was a year, this would be it.
I got a feeling Dylan's going to score this week more than the Steelers.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Dang. All right.
Probably right.
You don't look up to Patrick Mahomes, though. You looked up to Tom Brady. I think that's
I didn't. No, I didn't. I look up to Kirk Cousins.
Jesus Christ, dude.
I don't know how to start.
He's pouring the liquor. He's
So-
pouring the liquor.
It doesn't seem right to talk about the Jets without a little.
Is that FCC approved?
Why can't I
Sure.
drink some bourbon? Nope.
Sure.
I don't see an issue with that.
Sure.
Where do you start?
When the apocalypse
God.
happens and they're just taking random people to start the NFL again, I'm going to catch up to them.
Our flag football champs over here. You
True.
and Cam just going to dominate.
Heck yeah.
True.
If
True.
I didn't have
Like
the trophy,
football.
I took the trophy back to the office, but if I had it, I'd be showing it off.
Do that. What was that?
If Bowers is drafted by the Jets, I'm going to be so brocked up. It is going to be amazing. I'm going to
Did you
love
say
it.
brocked up?
I did. I
Nice.
want Brock Bowers so bad. And if he's a pick,
Trademarked.
I'm gonna love it. Brocked up for Bowers, baby.
Buddy said Kirk Cousins was better than Tom Brady, and now he's saying Sam Darnold's better than Kirk Cousins.
Dylan,
This
that's
isn't.
because I said our country
Does that
lives
mean that
and dies on
does that-
NFL wins and losses and the pride for your team.
Just because you keep saying something doesn't make it true. But does this
It's
mean
true.
that Sam Darnold is better than Tom Brady? Is that what you believe?
It's tough.
Don't think about it. Don't think about it. It's not something
Anyway,
to think about.
Can I?
I feel so bad for you.
It is what it is.
You
It is
thought
what it
Aaron
is.
Rodgers was going to be the savior.
it. Don't say it.
And you just said Trevor Siemian is the guy.
Yeah.
Over Tim Boyle.
Yeah. That's where we're at.
How quickly things.
No, I was doing so good.